stash your worries at the Craftstache store. Let's craft and laugh till we can't anymore.
Okay, welcome back to the Craftstache. My name is Laura, and I'm here today with Bethany, who's going to tell us a little bit about herself. You will love this convo.
Oh, I'm so excited. My name is Bethany Bayless. I am a graphic designer and illustrator based out of Los Angeles, California.
So
Wish
cool.
it was Tennessee like some other people. But...
We wish it was California because we love California.
Yes, we've had many conversations of your Disney days,
Yes.
which is really fun.
I'm going to Disney at the end of this week.
I'm so excited for you.
I can't miss it.
We'll have to give you tips. But my name is Bethany Bayless. I'm a graphic designer and illustrator. I used to be a public speaker and MC, and then I got pregnant with my first child in the fall of 2019.
A wonderful time to be heading into having a child.
That, and I know like I would have to slow down, right? Like because as moms, like we can't do as much. And I was traveling a ton and speaking literally around the country and around the world. And like at that point, I was like, okay, well maybe I can do like one conference a month, you know, when I have a kid. I was fully planning on like strapping him to me.
As we do.
Just like, right? Doing the mom thing.
Yeah, we plan to do it all.
100%. And then, I ended up having him in May of 2020. And so having a baby at the peak of the pandemic was not on my bingo card.
No.
Right? And it was one of those things that everything stopped. So I went from making a really great living to making $0.
That's so stressful.
Quickly, very quickly. And thankfully, like during that time, you know, the pandemic did have like its silver linings.
Sure.
And I really struggled with having a child in a complete isolation, because having children is isolating anyway.
But you need a village.
You need a village, and when that village is quarantined, it's just really
when
hard.
That village is behind glass.
When your mom can't go with you to the hospital to be your birth coach, and those things. And I really struggled with postpartum depression and anxiety especially. And during those days, I just started turning to my iPad as a way of just tuning things out. And I started drawing on my iPad and started creating things. And I just got so into it. And so much so that like it literally changed my life, and it became a part of my therapy and my healing journey after having my child in the pandemic. And so because of that, and because of the pandemic, I was also able to go back to school, and I went back and got my graphic design degree.
I don't feel like I knew this part of
Did
your
you
lore.
not know this? Yeah.
No.
And
I love this.
It was wonderful because I literally went to classes. Like I was the 30-year-old in the classes with the 18-year-olds online though.
Yeah.
And so everything was done online, and my son was able to just play behind me. And there were times I would be in class and like feeding him and like doing all the things, and everyone knew like my kid was there, and it was just a really lovely, lovely time. And going back to school, like I wanted to learn those things.
Yes.
And I just took the most of it. And then I had a whole other child, took a semester off, and then
had a whole other child.
kind of, like
No
as
big
time
deal.
progresses. And so since then though, I not only have freelancing services where I help people with their websites and their designs and their branding, but I also created a product-based business for moms, especially because I had such a hard time. I wanted to spread encouragement and light to moms, especially, and that it started with something as small as a sticker.
Yes.
And then turned into glass cups and tote bags and banners and greeting cards and all the happy things.
I have to give her a shout out because all of her stuff is so cute.
Stop
you 100%
it.
have to go check it out. I was in the pop-up shop. There's a pop-up shop here at Craftcation, which I didn't even mention. We're at Craftcation right now.
Hello from Craftcation.
Yeah, we're literally at Craftcation conference in California right now, so that's why we're getting to see each other in person again. But I was in the pop-up shop, and I was walking through, in Mackenzie's over here off camera, but I was like, look at these stickers. I need these stickers. And then literally today we're looking at your website, and I was like, wait a minute, these are Bethany's.
That's so funny. So like you unknowingly liked me.
Yeah, I did not
appreciate
recognize that they were yours, although I should have, because it was your bookworm stack.
Yes, that's
I
my
love
favorite
that.
one.
And I've seen it before on your site, so I don't know why I like didn't put the connection together, but yeah, and all of her stuff is very cute.
I have to tell you, like seeing my glass cups out, like Craftcation let me do some Craftcation themed things.
Love it.
And so like I see all my glass cups like out in the wild. I think I want to do like a video of being like zooming in on
you
like
should.
all the Craftcation glass cups, but it just makes me happy to see my stuff out there and just being colorful and happy and everything that
and people
I've been
enjoying it.
Exactly.
Which they are, because her stuff is very cute.
Thank you.
Okay, so you already kind of touched on this a little bit, but tell us about the transition from turning this from a hobby into a business. I think a lot of the people that listen to this are just moms or just people who craft, and everybody wants to be like, everybody hits that point, I feel like, where they're like, well, I maybe want to make a little money from doing this. So tell us about doing that. And you also had the added benefit of doing it during COVID.
Oh my gosh. Listen, it was like boss level, like trying to figure these things out. But also in a weird way, again, COVID just allowed me that time.
Yeah.
And this is one of the things that I think we really struggle with as moms. Not that this is a mom podcast or anything, but
a lot of these people are moms.
Which is one of my favorite places to be, because I think I really found myself when I became a mom.
Yeah.
Like, I was a whole person before I became a mom, and I never want to forget that person who built a career and did some really amazing, incredible things. But there was something about when I had my kids, like I found this focus because your time is so limited.
Yeah.
And I know right now as a mom, my most valuable asset is time.
1,000,000%.
And not only when I get that time to work on my business, and I will say, like, it's slow. Like, it is a slow growth. And
it's like nap time.
The nap time hustle.
The nap time
Absolutely.
hustle.
I thought of making a sticker line about the nap time hustle.
You should.
I should.
Do it.
Okay,
I would
done.
buy it.
Immediately. But there's something about finding that time, and then when you have that time to be productive in that time, because again, it's during nap time. You're like, okay, I got 45 minutes to 2 hours. Who knows how long it's going to be?
Yeah.
What are those things that I'm going to focus on in my business?
Yeah, so you have to zero in.
Exactly. So I think that part of it was creating something else that I'm creating. This is like
I saw your brain click. Like, I literally saw it.
Because this answers your question too,
yeah.
right? Because I have met so many women over the course of my life, and I had a podcast early on in my motherhood journey called the Motherhood and Money Show, which is no longer a thing, but maybe it'll come back around. Who knows?
I love that.
I
love that name.
Motherhood and money, because they really go hand in hand. And part of it is, so many moms have this desire to stay home with their children, but also contribute to the household.
Yes.
It is an ever-present,
it's a war
tug of war.
with yourself.
Thank you. I was like,
always.
What is this word? What is this word?
We're gonna do this.
It's this. And it's constantly going back and forth of, like, do I pursue my dreams in my business, or do I invest in my children, which are not mutually exclusive. I think you can do both at the same time.
But in our heads, they feel like they are all the time.
Absolutely.
It's this or this.
Well, and when you first came to Craftcation, you did a session on social media, and we talked a little bit about it. I'm like, what is that balance between, like, including your children and, like, focusing on your business? And I think I've met so many women who want to make that a possibility. And I would say for me, it turned into having a mission and a goal for my business. Like, I knew I wanted to spread encouragement to moms, like having that mission statement.
I love that.
It did help that I was going to school for branding, so that I was like, oh, mission statements and
you're like,
brand
I know what to do here.
Those are important. But then also transitioning into, okay, now I'm starting to make money from my business. How many ways can I make money from my business? And one of the things that I realized when I was a professional speaker and MC was, like I said, I went from making a lot of money to zero money.
What a transition.
Which is hard. And thankfully, like, it worked out really well. My husband had just gotten a new job, and, like, I am privileged and benefit to have my husband become the breadwinner at that time. And so, like, we knew that would have happened. We waited to have kids until he was in that position that I could step back from my job. Didn't realize it was going to be all the way back from my job.
Yeah, it was a little more extreme than you wanted.
To be fair, but we did plan for that unintentionally. And so I went from that to, now I have this business that I'm building, right? And I'm definitely in the building phase. And I wanted to make sure I diversified my income, which I think is one of the most beneficial things when you're building a business, is don't find just one way to make money. Find multiple ways to make money. That. And so it built a very healthy business, right? So if one of those income streams goes down, like right now I'm working on 7 income streams. Girl, it's a business. Like, I feel like that person who, you know that meme where there's, like, all the math, like, you know, and he's like all the math is, like, going around. That's me all the time. Like, how do I build this business, and how do I build income streams so I have a really healthy business that if one of them goes down, I still have these other 6 that are really profitable and working. And if I need to pivot, if I need to shift with whatever stage in motherhood I'm in, then that's what I do. And so I have wholesale licensing, freelancing in both writing and graphic design. And then I have my product-based business where again, the whole wholesale is a part of that, but it's a whole
It's like a whole other thing.
A whole other thing. Just building out my income streams. And it's kind of like, here's the thing about having kids, and you have two,
Yes.
right? And I have two.
Yeah.
And when I had
I
my
think our
second,
kids are of similar age too.
I think so.
Because mine are 5 and 3.
Mine are 2 and 4.
Yeah.
Yep.
We're like right there.
And he'll be 5 and then she'll be 3 in just a few months. So we're very much of this. Are we the same person?
We're the same person.
Okay, cool. But remember when you had your second child? And
oh, yes.
Who can forget? Do you have a boy and a girl?
Yeah, the first one's a boy, the second one's a girl.
Me too, same.
And she's like, I feel like that meme where they're like, your first child is the one that convinced you to have a second, and then your second child is the one that made you.
Is she your feral second born? Yeah. So is mine. Like that girl.
Roll.
I don't want to get off on a rabbit trail,
but we could.
Listen, that raising a strong woman is not for the weak of heart.
She is a strong
and she's
woman.
going to need that spirit one day, so I don't want to break it.
I talk about that all the time. I'm like, she's
me.
a strong, independent woman, and I want her to continue to be, but also not.
Come back for our second episode, our second part of this, raising strong women in today.
Raising strong women when they are...
when you just... so I remember having my second. My son was 2 at the time. And so much about having 2 children at the same time is situating one. Like, okay, you're good.
You're busy.
Then moving on to the next one. Yeah. All right. Getting them situated. Are you good? Then going right back to the first one. That is literally just motherhood of 2 children.
It's a game of ping pong.
Exactly. In a nutshell. But like, what if we looked at our business that way? Right? Of so much of our business when we're building those income streams. I'm not going to have 7 children. But I want to have 7 income streams. Like, I mean, I don't know. That feral second board is really. No,
I'm done.
I'm done. But so much of it is okay. Working on this income stream, making sure you're good. You're good, cool. Moving on to the next one, building it up, making it income, making it profitable. You're good, great. Moving on to the next one and just focusing one at a time. Figuring out where you're putting your energy and effort, making sure that it's good, it's bringing in money, and then you move on to the next one. And so that's kind of been how I've been building out my business over the last 3 years, especially.
I love that.
Is making sure that each income stream is good to go, like children, and then moving on to
and then you can circle back around to like revamp or rebuild.
100%.
I love that because I think people, they hear like, oh, diversify. I have to do more than one thing. And they're like, okay, let me just do all the things.
And then you get burnt out.
And then do nothing.
Yeah.
So it is like, pick one thing that you're really good at, that you know you can build it up, feel confident in that, and then you can pivot into something else. And I also feel like diversification. Diversification. That's the word.
You're good. You're good.
It didn't sound like English when it came out of my mouth.
You know, I do that all the time. It's hard to use both sides of your brain at the same time.
It is. Diversification comes naturally a lot of the times, I feel like, but I feel like you should attest to this. But it's like you do one thing and then like your brain will naturally be like, oh, but I could also do like kind of this similar thing that is different, but will make me a different income stream. And they kind of start to branch off naturally.
Oh,
I feel
absolutely. Like. Absolutely. And I think like, it's okay to diversify. People get scared about it. Be like, oh, well, I need to focus on one thing. I need to just do one thing at a time.
Yeah.
But then keep building that foundation for your business as you continue to diversify. And I had a really great point that I was about to just slide into. I
probably got you way off topic.
No, I love this conversation that we're having because it's literally just what I'm focusing on right now.
And it's something that so many people want to do, but they're just scared or they don't know how. Like,
I remember thank you. Yay! We got back there. So many things can go hand in hand. Right? Yeah. And so I have 2 branches of my business. I have a service-based business and a product-based business. The service-based business is something that I do quite a few things in that service-based business. So I freelance not only as a graphic designer and a branding consultant, but I also do writing with clients that I've met in the past, that I've done different things. All of those go very, very hand in hand. Like you're a freelancer, right? Like trying to find those connections, trying to find those clients and networking and doing all those things. So oftentimes if I'm networking at an event like Craftcation or other conferences, which that's our 3rd podcast. Are we going to have a whole season?
I think we're going to have a whole season.
We're going to have going to conferences and how they can benefit your business.
Yeah.
Is a fantastic episode. Just saying.
I think
Mackenzie, are you taking notes? Good. Perfect.
Mackenzie's like, yeah, honestly, I am. Also, I'm sitting here like, oh crap, I'm the feral second child.
She's still thinking about the feral second child.
I am the
You
second,
are the feral
I am
second,
the second
child for your parents.
Bless your parents.
Oh wait, me too.
I'm a 3rd born.
To be fair, though, we are far enough. Me and my older sister are like 7 years apart, so they have 2 firstborn feral women.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, that's
and then a baby boy.
Aww.
And then
Yeah.
there's Hannah.
And then there's Hannah.
She doesn't count. She's adopted.
But it's one of those things where when you go to conferences and you network, I will be networking not only for my graphic design business, but also for my writing and also for and when you go and you meet people, like my whole theory of networking is like I go to meet people for who they are and to make friends with them. And then those relationships oftentimes just naturally materialize.
Yeah.
I don't go thinking, oh, what can you do for me? What can you do for me?
It doesn't have to be forced.
It's like, oh my gosh, you love Disneyland? So do I.
We both love Disneyland.
We love Disneyland so much, and developing those genuine connections has led to so much. Like my business is taking care of me in a way that is genuine and authentic and transparent and not slimy and weird, because I came from a lot of that in my previous career. And I was like, I don't ever want to do it that way. So
I think that's like an important point, because it can feel that way, like, oh, I'm not good at selling stuff.
Yes.
But the reality is usually you're kind of like solving a problem for somebody.
Yes.
And if you can just kind of meet them at that spot, then your business sells itself.
Absolutely.
Even with
100%.
products. I think even with product-based stuff.
Oh, and I was telling you about what I'm going to create.
Yeah.
Remember? It was a secret. We came back to it. But
here it is.
Exclusive.
The big secret.
Here. Announcing. Talking about that problem of moms and trying to find the time.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I kind of see lacking in the market right now, at least in a way that I would love to see it done, is just productivity products for moms.
Yes.
Of like when you get that time, right? Like you want to use it wisely. I always have that mom guilt in the back of my head of like,
Same.
I'm taking time away from my kids to do this. It better be good.
It better be worth
I
it.
better get stuff done. No relaxing. That's a conversation with my therapist. But because that is our fourth podcast episode of the mom guilt and all the things. But I really am starting to develop products for moms to make the most of the time that they have.
So smart.
And one of the things that I'm working on right now, and I'm excited for it to launch very soon, is I'm working on a productivity journal for moms.
I love it.
And the number one thing that moms need are removable pages.
Yes.
So many of the productivity, don't steal this idea, but if it's fine.
Nobody steal it.
One of the things,
Copyrighted.
One of the things that I noticed about the productivity journals I would get is like they're either like perfect bound, so they're like a book, or they're spiral bound. But like I need removable pages because I can't have 5 days a week where I focus on something. I need like 1 or 2 days a week.
Yeah.
And then I want to take those out and put them in for later, so I'm not wasting pages. And it gives me like permission, just if you have
to
one
like
day
customize it on the go.
Exactly.
Yeah.
To customize it on the go. Have stickers maybe.
We love the sticker idea.
I mean, but
or to like take it out and put it on your fridge. It's like
exactly.
I need to remember this.
But I also want to give moms permission, like as you're building a business, and it went from hobby.
Yeah.
Like the first year I came to Craftcation, I hadn't even done my first market.
Really?
Really?
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
That's
I
crazy.
was scared to death. I cried.
It's scary.
I cried multiple times when like thinking about this market, and I was like, are people gonna like me? Is
What
this
if nobody buys my stuff?
To this day, that was the best market I've ever had. And I had no idea. It set the expectation super high, but I came to Craftcation thinking, oh, I want to put my products out in front of people.
Yeah.
This is a way to go meet them. Like this is a way to meet them is at a booth. But I had like severe imposter syndrome, severe like,
totally.
my stuff isn't good enough.
Yeah, you're like, why would they buy my stuff?
Exactly. And so like I hadn't made money yet, and then my first market happened, and it just like was like, oh, this was delightful.
I didn't do this.
This was awesome. And then starting to build my business from there. So now that I am bringing in solid income for my family and have like a solid, I would say part-time, not quite full-time because my kids are still 2 and 4.
Sure. They are full-time.
Absolutely. Full-time mom, stay-at-home mom. My kid's not even in kindergarten yet.
Yeah.
We haven't reached that point yet either. He's going to be in the fall, so.
It's going to be a whole new world.
Just wait.
I know my son starts kindergarten in the fall too.
And I think like as moms, we know we have something special. We know we have something good. And it's just kind of like that holding pattern until you're released to be able to build the business in the way that you want. And I had some really great advice last year from Emily McDowell. We were on a panel. I went from not having done my first craft fair to my second year being to teaching at Craftcation and also being on a panel with Emily McDowell, who's literally doing everything that I want to do in life.
Yeah, she's amazing.
And she's
fantastic.
Not that I'm name dropping here. It was like a very cool, like, who am I opportunity. But I was just telling her like that heart pull, like going in 2 different directions. And that's just like, I want to make my business successful and I want to make it, but I know it requires time. But I also have like these beautiful amazing, glorious paperweights, like holding it down.
That's such a good way to put
for
it.
a little while. And once we're released, we're released to have a little bit more time to spend and having that independence. I know that I can really make this something really beautiful and special.
I love it.
And it's okay. Like, it's okay to wait. And Emily McDowell says it's okay to grow slow.
I think that's like, can we say that again?
Okay.
It's okay to
Emily
grow slow.
McDowell said it, so it's not me. I'm just repeating her. I saw her again earlier this month, and I told her, I was like, someone really wise once told me to grow slow. She's like, that's great.
And you were like, it was you.
Told me that. She's like, yeah, okay, it was really good. But it's okay
it is
to grow slow and to give yourself that permission.
And just to start somewhere.
Yeah.
Like, just start.
Yes.
It doesn't have to be like your full-time job overnight. It won't be.
Yeah.
So go ahead and let that go.
Yeah.
But like, just start.
Absolutely. Just do the craft fair. Make the stickers, even if they're crappy. My
Just
stickers
do it.
were awful at the beginning. They were terrible. I'm
I don't
shocked
believe
people
that.
bought them. I still have the designs, but I made them on my Cricut. Like, I
Oh, yeah.
was
You were
peddling
like-
stickers behind the school alley, and just kidding.
She was standing outside the bus stop being
You
like,
see what
"Want some
stickers I have for moms.
Moms?
But like, as our business like our kids grow, as our business grows, you just see really beautiful developments and how things are progressing on their own, and you're sometimes surprised. I think, like, in motherhood, I look back and be like, I'm sorry, what word? That is a very large word for a 4-year-old.
Yes.
What did you just say? And you're kind of surprised by your business oftentimes, and pleasantly surprised in seeing how it grows.
Yeah. And it'll get there.
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. I feel like we've covered so much of this. I need to figure out what we want to do next here. Oh, I know. You kind of touched on this a little bit, but I think this is good. But like, if you had to really boil it down, like, what's one of the biggest lessons you learned early on that you would want to impart to someone who's about to start their journey?
All these things about to
I know, there's going to be a lot. That was a big
Right?
question. Sorry.
It's a great question. I feel like we've already touched on a couple of them here.
Yeah.
The just do it part. And
Totally.
the whole saying of do it scared.
Yep.
Like, I can't tell you, before my first craft fair, I literally thought I was going to throw up. I genuinely, which is so funny. And I went into it. Sometimes we're just afraid of the unknown.
Yeah, that's so real.
And it's like, am I just going to write a book about how our businesses are like children? Because my son...
You should.
Listen,
That's a good concept.
This is a great interview. We're just inspirational.
You're going to have a
all
whole
the
new
things.
business after this.
A whole new world. But it's so funny. And he sometimes is afraid of... We just have our background
Sunday,
music.
you're going to be our backup artist.
I was going to go there too. And I was like, don't get
we did.
distracted. But sometimes he won't eat something or he won't try something because he's afraid of it.
Totally.
And it's like, listen, the deal is you don't have to do it if you don't like it. But how would you know if you didn't try?
We have this conversation in my house all the time.
Mhm.
I'm always like, you don't have to eat it all, but it would be good to try one bite because you never know.
Yeah.
And it's the same with business.
Yeah.
Try one bite.
Exactly. Try one bite because you'll never know. And oftentimes we're afraid of the unknown, not realizing what it actually is waiting for us at the end. And so I think that's one of the big ones. And to do it scared and do it bad. Like, make bad art. Do bad things. Make sure that you, just everything is an experiment. And I think that's one of my life goals. And I literally made a sticker about it this year.
Is it in there?
It is in there.
I'm going to have to go buy it.
Everything is an experiment. Just try it out.
Yeah.
Like, Thomas Edison was famously known for making the light bulb. And he tried 1,000 ways to make a light bulb before he actually got the right way. Yeah. Right? And so many people are like, oh my gosh, you wasted 1,000, you failed 1,000 times. And he said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I found 1,000 ways not to make a light bulb.
Right.
But how would you ever know if you never tried?
Exactly.
And so to treat it like an experiment, okay, I'm going to try my first craft fair. We'll see how it goes. If it sucks, I might not do it again.
Yeah, I might be
reevaluate the process. Be like, I'm an introvert. This is too hard for me. I get it, but you're never going to know until you try. And I reframe failure in that way because I think we're afraid of failing oftentimes of like, oh my gosh, what if I do this and it doesn't work out and it's so horrible. It's like, well, you found one way that you don't want to operate your business.
And you probably learned so much within that.
And you learned
to guide you in the right direction.
And listen, failure's hard. And I've suffered a lot of failure this year, especially lots of things. And it's hard. Like, you work through it and then, but I also think there's something really beautiful about those battle scars from business of like, oh wait, you lost money? Congratulations.
Remember that one time?
Congratulations. You did it. You're learning about business. And my father-in-law is a very wise man, very experienced businessman. And I went to him with a failure once. He's like, now you know what it's like to be in business.
Yeah.
And I was like
That's
really
real.
sad about it. And he has this huge garage, and on the garage he has like all of these logos and flags of all the businesses. He's like, have you ever been in there and seen those? I was like, yeah. He's like, that's every single business that I've been a part of. A lot of them failed and went nowhere, but a lot of them succeeded.
Wow.
And it was like this huge wall of like, maybe one day I'll have my wall of all the
You
places, the things that succeeded and ones that didn't, but I never would have known unless I tried.
You need to frame your first sticker.
I should. You're gonna make me cry.
Like, you should just frame it. You're like a really ugly sticker. Just frame it.
I had 6 stickers starting out in my business, and I did nothing with them for 2 years.
And you just hung out with
I
them
just
in
hung
your
out with
office.
them, and then one day it like dropped on me, like this idea, like this inspiration of like, I need to expand my business. I need to create more stickers. And it was like this business plan just went out in front of me, and I went to Craftcation and I went and did my first show. I was like, if I start here, then this is where I can start seeing it go. And it was like this business plan dropped into my mind. But I started with 6 stickers and then sat on them for 2 years and nothing happened to them. And that was not a failed business, but the starting point to something new.
Frame all 6.
Yeah, okay. I'll frame all 6.
Make a little collage.
They were bad. They were not great.
I don't believe they were that
They were
bad.
not water resistant, which, you know.
Well, you know. But back then, how long ago was that? That was several years ago. People didn't care so much, I feel like.
My son wasn't even a year old. So it was 2021 is when I officially started with my 6 stickers. And I cried. Like
I mean,
every
yeah,
single time I
as you
launched
would.
something, I cried.
I'm trying to figure out what we should talk about next.
Does that mean we're supposed to frame our book club shirts?
Yeah, we'll tell you about book club after the interview.
I'm so excited about book club.
Your worries at the Craftstache store. Let's craft and laugh till we can't anymore.